Okay, hi, a very good morning, all of you. So, today's live session will try to focus on the following topic: how to increase our concentration ability or concentration power. So, in this process, I'll be discussing four practical tips, and I'm sure they're going to help you enormously in your day-to-day, practice or in your day-to-day process of life. So, before we start, as you guys said, everything is fine. So, happy Sunday, all of you. So, I'm sure I'm audible. So if at all there is any issue, do let me know accordingly. So first and foremost, what is concentration? And why do we need this concentration? I mean, can't we work without concentration? Can't we go ahead and perform multitasking or multiple activities at the same time? So what is concentration? Why do we need this concentration? So as you know, concentration is the ability to focus on a particular task or on a particular work which we are doing. So only when we do something with concentration, we can expect progress, and in fact, we can do better. It can be any task. So let's assume you're watching a movie, and then let's assume you have one chapter to study. So obviously, among these two tasks, which one do you think you'll be having more concentration? So there are many factors which actually drive our concentration potential, which we'll try to discuss in this live session. So concentration is the ability to stay centered. And of course, we need concentration in order to master the given task and then progress accordingly, right? So first and foremost, as I said, we have several aspects which influence concentration. So if we can understand them, and then if we can implement them according to these four practical tips which I'll be sharing now, I'm sure it will enhance our overall day-to-day activities or tasks which we have been performing. It need not be just preparation; it can be anything in life. So first, let me start with the problems. See, often when we ask ourselves these questions like, do I have good concentration power? Do I have good memory? Often we are having this self doubt that we cannot concentrate for a longer time, or we feel like we are distracted most often due to several factors, and we feel like we have very poor memory. So it's more or less true that we have these feelings, but the good news is we can overcome these challenges. The good news is with practice, with various exercises, we can overcome these minor challenges and then improvise accordingly. So the first and foremost tip which I would like to share is taking control of inner voice. When I say taking control of inner voice, we're talking about subconscious mind. Just imagine you're going to watch a movie, or that is one instance, as I mentioned prior. And in the second instance, assume that you have to study about keratocystic odontogenic tumor or odontogenic keratocyst. So you have two tasks. One task is to watch a movie, the other task is to study. So when you're planning to watch a movie, you need to go to a theater, and then you need to buy some tickets, and then you have to go through the traffic and then watch the movie and then get back home. So those are some actions which are required. And when you have to study, you have to make notes, you have to refer standard literature, watch relevant videos, participate in discussions, etc. So we have two tasks with two different actions which are required. So in which task or in which activity do you think you'll have more concentration power? The answer is quite obvious. When you have that interest, when you have that curiosity, when you have that willingness to do certain things, and when you love doing it, obviously your concentration reaches to your peak. So the thought of watching a movie itself will give you a good feeling, because more or less we implant those ideas or thoughts into our subconscious mind. So when you're going to watch a movie, you tell yourself that, of course, you're going to watch a movie, you're going to enjoy the movie, you're really looking forward to watch all the action and drama. So the essence is you're implanting positive, or positive affirmations or positive thoughts or positive ideas into your subconscious mind. This is very important, because what you're implanting into your subconscious mind again comes back to you in a form of a loop. If you give positive affirmations, if you tell yourself that you're going to enjoy a particular thing, then that molds your thoughts, which will ultimately affect your actions. So this is a kind of loop. So if you implant negative ideas, like you have to study a particular topic, it's very hard. It's very difficult to remember. And if you keep on implanting such ideas or thoughts, again, the subconscious mind gives you the same kind of feedback. So it's like a loop mechanism, to simply put. So the first and foremost practical tip is taking control of your inner voice, because your thoughts, ultimately actions, are guided by your subconscious mind. So how you orient yourself and the kind of affirmations and ideas which you implant into your subconscious mind ultimately matters. So the first step is taking control of your subconscious mind. That is by implanting or giving positive affirmations. You have to study a particular thing. You can ask yourself these questions like, so what's there to learn? In what way is that going to help me in my entrance preparation? Why is OKC previously termed as KOT? And now again, why is it called as cyst? So what are the criteria? So if at all we come across such case, how do we deal with it? So asking these kind of questions, different kinds of questions, will increase that interest and curiosity, and ultimately that will affect your concentration, take my word, isn't it? With the given examples. So take care of your inner voice, take control of your inner voice, make sure that you're giving positive affirmations, which in turn will dictate terms in the form of thoughts, in the form of actions, which will ultimately have an effect on your concentration power, right? And the second task, or the second practical tip which I would like to share, is multitasking. And before I proceed, let me just hold on for a few moments. Please do confirm whether you're able to follow, or do you think I'm going too fast or slow. Your feedback is more than welcome. Yeah, okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you for the feedback. So, the first thing, as I mentioned, is about taking control of your inner voice. And who is going to take control of your inner voice? It's you. So, we have that power, we have that potential to take care of our inner voice, isn't it? And the second practical tip is multitasking. We think multitasking is productive. We think multitasking enables us to control and complete so many aspects and give us that pleasure or joy. Nothing can be further from truth. Multitasking is a myth. When I say I'm talking about conscious mind, I'm not talking about subconscious mind, which has a capacity to perform multitude actions simultaneously. No, I'm talking about conscious mind. If I'm conducting this live session, I have to talk, I have to focus on the topic. If you're watching this live session, I mean, obviously your concentration potential is obviously towards listening to this particular lecture. So the conscious effort which you give in the process is very important. One task at a time is more productive. One task at a time gives you more satisfaction. One task at a time gives you that sense of joy and fun in that particular experience. Multitasking will not enable you to enjoy the process. Multitasking leads to attention deficit. And quoting some statements given in literature, multitasking makes you less productive. Multitasking makes you less creative and takes out joy from that experience. Uh, let's assume I've given you a biryani. Today is Sunday, so obviously you might be having a strong brunch. So let's assume I'm serving you chicken biryani or any tasty dish of your choice. So if you're given the chance to eat a particular dish which I'm giving you, and simultaneously I've switched on TV, I've given you mobile, I've given you several other tasks like play some video games or watch some favorite channel, favorite TV channel, or when you try to incorporate one or more activities along with eating food, do you think you would enjoy what you're eating? Or if I eliminate all the other factors and the only task I have given you is to eat, or do you think you would enjoy it more? So it's self-explanatory. So when you perform a single task at a time without intervention of other factors or other tasks, you'll have more joy, and obviously you'll have more joy in that experience, and it is more productive in nature, right? So that's the best example I can give you. Take about eating food, and when you keep watching a particular channel or your favorite show and then eating simultaneously, it takes away joy from both the experiences, not just food but also watching a particular show. I can give you a numerous examples. So multitasking is a myth. We're talking about conscious mind. If you can focus on one task at a time, that enables you, to enhance your concentration potential. And in fact, studies have clearly shown that on an average, every person checks their mobile phone for at least 50 times per day. And when you're checking 50 times per day on an average, and some of us even check it more than 50 times, obviously. So when you keep on checking, what happens to our attention? It's getting diversified. When unable to focus on a particular task, and this is kind of a dwindling process and procedure. So when you keep on checking your mobile, it's dividing your attention. And in fact, even studies have shown that when you drive and use mobile simultaneously, your ability to apply brakes decreases by half a second, which means when you travel at a speed of 100 or 110 kilometers per hour, and if you had to apply a brake and you're distracted by a mobile phone, you'll be delaying your process of applying brakes by half a second, which means you'll be traveling 15 meters extra. And this 15 meters, anything can happen, right? So these are some of the statistics which are produced by RTO and various other government websites as well. So multitasking will be a disaster. Rather, if we can focus on one task at a time, that would be a lovely and amazing experience. And in fact, those who are driving and simultaneously using mobiles are at 9 times higher chance of meeting with an accident. Unfortunately. Right? So I hope you got my point. So this is the second tip, multitasking. And in the beginning of this session, I've asked you why should or why do you need this concentration? Because ultimately, it's about producing exceptional work. If you want to produce exceptional work, if you want to produce exceptional qualitative work, then obviously you need that concentration potential. So taking control of your inner voice, multitasking, avoiding multitasking and focusing on one task at a time would be a more practically feasible in enhancing your concentration potential. Right. And then the third factor is know what you want. Unfortunately, when we ask someone like, why are you doing this? Most of us are clueless. I mean, I'm not joking. If we ask ourselves, like, why do I need to do this? What am I doing? Most of us are clueless. So the most important thing here to enhance your concentration is to know what you want. Why are you preparing for anything? Just because someone asked you to prepare, or just because your friends are preparing, or just because someone forced you to prepare? So, why are you preparing? I mean, the purpose of your action is very important. So, we have a mnemonic here, as you can see in the thumbnail, PIC, where P stands for purpose, I stands for interest, C for curiosity. And initially, I given you example about a movie. So you're going to watch a movie called Bahubali, let's say Asian. So what's the purpose of watching the movie? You want to enjoy. You're more specific, right? So you want to enjoy that movie and have that experience, grandeur. And then, what about interest? So you're interested in like how the characters are, how the characterization happens and how hero, ultimately defeats villain and how all the relations go by. And you're obviously curious, like why Bahubali was killed by Katappa, right? So purpose, interest, and curiosity. You just keep these three words in mind. These will enhance your concentration potential. You don't have any purpose, you don't feel like doing it. You don't have any interest, you don't feel like doing a particular task. And if you're not curious, why would you even do that task? So, purpose, interest, and curiosity. Let's assume now. Let's come back to our academic topic again. Odontogenic keratocyst. So, movie. I'm sure we're all interested, curious, and we have a purpose. And when you're going through odontogenic keratocyst, so what's the purpose of learning that topic? Maybe because I can expect a question in entrance, or maybe in clinical practice, when you come across such questions, you should be able to diagnose and detect such cases. And what about other questions like, as I said, purpose of studying that particular topic is to have the clinical correlation and for our knowledge. That purpose we have. And what about interest? When do you get interest? I hear most of them saying that subject is very boring. But let me tell you, there are no uninteresting things. It's only uninterested people. So when do you get the interest? You get interest only when you keep asking questions like, what is odontogenic keratosis? Why is it called as odontogenic? Why is it called as a keratocyst? And why is it a cyst? And why has it been termed as cyst or sometimes tumor? So that's curiosity. So when you ask yourself these questions about any topic, take my word, there is nothing like boredom. Each and every topic will be having its own interest factors and interest potential. So it's all about your orientation. As I said, there are no uninteresting things on this planet. It's only uninterested people. So the type of questions you have, the type of questions you pose, your orientation, your perspectives will ultimately matter. So when you have that specific purpose, and when you have that interest and curiosity, PIC, you'll obviously have that concentration potential because that drives you into action, that drives you into focusing on the task at hand. And finally, before I conclude this entire, for practical tips, the fourth tip is eliminating worry. And when we hear the term worry, we are very much familiar with. We are always worried. What if I don't get a rank? What if I don't qualify? What if I can't answer all the questions? What if others are studying good? So this question, what if, we keep asking ourselves, and it creates havoc and it causes a lot of misery and worry. Instead of that, we have an alternative, that is, what would I do if I don't score well? What would I do if I fare poorly in a particular entrance? What would I do if I go wrong in a particular topic or in a particular MCQ? This particular question will give you a chance, to rectify and to overcome your own challenges. So the bigger question we should ask ourselves is, why are we worried? Why are we worried? Is it because we are concerned? Is it because we care for something? Or is it because we were made to, or we were, as I say, you were conditioned to be worried accordingly? So usually, whenever we worry, we think we have care or concern towards something or somebody. Is that the case? Or are we worrying just because we were taught to be so? So that's something which we should ask ourselves, right? So worry will erode your concentration potential. Once you address this worry by taking definitive actions and by orienting yourself accordingly, and you have nothing to worry about, then ultimately you'll give your best towards that particular task or towards that particular activity. So these are the four factors which I have researched and I have taken up from a book called Unlimited Memory, where it is clearly mentioned about the four factors which will enable each and every one of us to have greater concentration potential, taking control of our inner voice, and then avoiding multitasking, and then knowing what we want through PIC, and finally, it's about eliminating worries. So, these practical approaches will enable us to allot and to have the bouts or bouts of concentration potential, because exceptional work can be produced through concentration, and with exceptional outputs we can progress and we can proceed accordingly in our day-to-day life. And finally, before I conclude, I can give you one relevant example how this concentration potential is going to enhance your preparation. Most of the students do ask me this question, like, how many times should I revise a particular subject? Or how many times should we do overall revision? Two times, three times, four times, or five times? Keep all the number of times aside. No matter how many times you revise, even if it is once, make sure you do that with concentration potential or with concentration, because without concentration, without attention, there will be no retention, isn't it? So only when you have that attention towards the task, only when you have that concentration, ability, or potential towards that particular task, you'll be able to master any number of topics in a particular span of time, and you need not really worry about revision, because you do something with concentration, you do something with mindfulness, it serves the purpose, right? So I hope these four factors will help you in enhancing your concentration potential. In fact, I've been using a few of them on day-to-day basis, and I'm sure you guys have been doing them, and we have categorized them today so that we'll have more clarity on how to enhance our individual concentration potential or concentration power. And as I said, without attention, there cannot be any retention. And we cannot always expect someone to help us all the time. The answer lies within us. So if you want to enhance your concentration and if you're not able to do so, The problem lies with you. If I have to increase my concentration, if I am not able to do because there is problem with me, but when I identify the fact that the problem is within me, I also understand the very fact that I can be the solution to that problem. So let's keep asking ourselves these questions, and I'm sure this gives us more clarity. And with more clarity comes, actionable intelligence, right? So let me just conclude here. And you have anything to share or anything to say? You're more than welcome. I hope you guys were able to follow. Anuj, hi sir, I'm 11th standard student, but my आपके lectures सुनता हूँ. Good. That's good to hear, Anuj. So all the best for your, for your entrance, for your undergraduation. Palak, sir, how is it possible to maintain job and study? Is it possible to still score good? Palak, based on my experience, I would never suggest the same because I never practiced it. I chose either clinical practice or preparation during my or after my internship, and I decided to allot time towards preparation. See, as we have been discussing about multitasking and all, it's a very obvious and self-explanatory. When you try to divide your attention to various activities, when you look into each of the activity, your attention is obviously less than normal, and that will ultimately affect your output accordingly. It's very simple. So, to your question, can we practice and prepare simultaneously? As much as possible, practically, I would suggest no. But if that's the need of the hour, and if you want some financial backing, and if you have no other option, yes, proceed accordingly, but see to that you allot dedicated time for your preparation simultaneously. So you can use complaints report and then make maximum use of your given day or week and then proceed accordingly. Right? Hi Rishi, a very good morning. Hi Mohita. Hi Srinivasa Naik, a very good morning. Rituja, sir, what about numerical values? I forget values. Rituja, I've mentioned about visualization technique. In fact, one of our students recently asked me the same question. Let me give you one practical example, like what you can do to keep your memory fresh and to easily learn all these numericals. Make sure you note down all numericals in your notes, right? And then see to that you're revising them at least twice a day for the next 7 days. Okay, consider this as a prescription. Try out and get back again next Sunday and let me know how it works. Like, take for example the instrument formula, or you take any numerical values. Let's suppose you have 10 or 15 points to remember, make a note of them every day, the moment you wake up and just before you sleep. These timings are very important because I'll tell you the reasons also. The moment you wake up, you're fresh, you have fresh memory, you have least distractions possible, and obviously your concentration potential and concentration is at the peak level, right? During morning times. So that's best time you can utilize towards remembering this value. Spend some 15-20 minutes depending upon the length of the topic. And before you sleep, make sure you're going through the topic again for 10 or 15 minutes because sleep enables you to process and to imprint all these values into your subconscious mind. It's the best processing system that ever happens during sleep. So just before you sleep, if you can revise, and just after you wake up, if you can revise the given values for the next 6 to 7 days, I'm sure you'll not forget for your lifetime, if not till the date of your entrance exam. Okay, so try it out and let me know again the next Sunday. Let's see how it goes. Or you can get back to me. Yes, I did. Yes, only when you have retention, we can achieve retention, isn't it? And it's rhyming as well. Hi, Sairaj. Oh, very good morning. Hi, Nidhi. Hi, Dr. Nidhi. Oh, very good morning. Yeah, you're welcome, Rituja. And also, do you remember Elizabeth, Nebraska? We discussed the birthday of Elizabeth, Nebraska. So, in order to remember the eruption timings of primary teeth, so mnemonics or visualization technique or repeated revisions. These techniques will enable you to remember numericals or any facts for that matter. Hi, Trita. Very good morning. Hi, Momin. Sir, I'm a BDS first year student and I forgot the relations and contents in gland or muscles. What to do, sir? Yes, Momin, the same applies. I mean, you say you're forgetting about relations of a particular gland or something like that. See, the most common mistake which we all implement or which we all do on our day-to-day preparation phase is like when you're going through any particular topic, we give more importance to text-based content because we feel like we should mug it up or remember all that. But the beauty of anatomy is, I always keep on highlighting this. In fact, anatomy is very simple to learn through diagrams. Or you take any subject for that matter, through visualization, you can easily remember stuff. In fact, studies have shown that when you go through text, your retention will be around 5 to 10% the next day or few days later. But when you learn through images, your retention will be almost 60% or 65% even after few days. So there are many studies proving the fact that this ability to learn through images, through visualization enhances your ability to retain things. So you can apply the same. If you think you're forgetting, let's take parotid gland. If you're forgetting about relations and all, practice the diagram just once on a piece of paper and then label all the parts and then go through it. As I said, early in the morning and just before you sleep, once or twice. That's it. There is nothing like you'll forget. You'll always have that in your memory. But the challenge is your recall potential, which you can improve through these practices. Just practice the diagram and then revise it for 1 or 2 days just before you sleep and after you wake up. That way you can simplify learning almost any topic. It can be numericals, it can be text based facts, it can be tables, flowcharts, anything. Hi, Moment. You're welcome. James, sir, I'm a third BDS student. It's hard to study histology of all disease, neural pathology. Any advice? That's what I'm trying to say, James. I mean, you can apply this technique for almost any topic. You say it's hard for you to study histology. If you're going only through text-based content, it will be difficult for you to retain. But if you can correlate with the histological aspects, most of us neglect diagrams, most of us neglect illustrations. But if you can, simultaneously practice illustrations, and obviously it needs effort. I mean, if we want something, we just can't get it like that. We tend to have that impulse of getting things passively, but that's not a progressive way. So if you want to learn something, if you want to retain that for a longer time, so obviously it needs some effort. So as you said, you're talking about histological diagrams or something, or anything for that matter. Practice those diagrams, label the parts, and write down relevant content beneath or below in the form of a legend related to that histological image. There is no way that you're going to forget. The only thing is, are you willing to put that required effort? James, I hope you got my point. Hi, Ipsita. How do you develop this much positivity? Yes, sir, you're right. There is no uninteresting thing, only uninterested people. Uh, the fact is, Ipsita, first of all, I really appreciate your comment. I'm positive because I've chosen that as my option. Of course, I have an option to choose negative. I have an option to stay demotivated, keep complaining, point out fingers, but that's not a progressive way. We cannot move forward with that kind of orientation. The only option which we have, in fact, I believe in this, whether it's a fact or not, it depends on individual choice. So the only way forward, only progressive way forward is to have those positive perceptions, perspectives, and then trying to give our best each and every moment. And the reason why I said there are no uninterested things, only uninterested people is because I hear most of us, including myself, saying that this is not interesting. Take, for example, odontogenic characteristics. Take, for example, hardness in dental materials. We feel like they are very, very boring topics. But let me tell you, with right orientation and with right guidance, we can make any topic very interesting. In fact, we had a debate session on OKC or KOT. Why is it called as OKC versus why is it called as KOT? And it was very fun and interesting because we kept asking so many questions. I'm sure some of you have participated in debate. When you keep asking questions and when you have that interest and curiosity through these questions, obviously you'll develop interest in almost any specialty, anything, any person for that matter. So in on this planet Earth, as far as I believe and as far as I know, there are no uninterested things. There are only uninterested people, isn't it? Yeah. Momin, how to improve stamina during study? I mean, what do you mean by stamina? You mean physical or emotional? So can you just elaborate, Momin? Hi, Sohini. Sir, how to remember all the different types of treatment in general medicine? Yes, I know you're in third year. Yes, Sohini. All types of treatment. I mean, which treatments are you talking about? Again, Sohini, let me tell you here, let me correlate this with the clinical instance. See, the problem which we commonly face is when we go through general medicine and surgery, we almost never, address patients or treat patients or indirectly watch the cases faced in our general hospital, etc. The only focus is to go through these text-based contents given in Davidson. So the moment we hear or come across or visualize Davidson, we have some innate fear, right? We are worried that we have to learn a lot. But take my word, if you have that clinical correlation, since you asked about treatment, take hypertension, take any lesion, you just go through your general hospital. Unfortunately, it's not possible now, but at least whenever possible, taking all precautions, if you can talk to each of the respective patients, observe their case histories because we have done it previously. Like when we were in third year in GGH Guntur, we used to go, especially in general surgery, we used to go watch those major and minor cases, go through their case histories, and observe how or what kind of treatment is happening. I mean, when you have the practical approach, no matter how much you sit and how much volumes you try to imbibe, there is always inherent limitation. But when you have the practical aspect incorporated in your learning process, it not only makes you learn more things, it makes learning more fun and enjoyable. Take my word. So practical exposure is one example or one solution which I can offer you. Along with that, if it is not possible, at least watch videos which are available in YouTube, where we can you can literally find treatments to various ailments, general medicine, or it can be general surgery. So through videos, or you through different approaches, or you discussing with your friends, or someone in your family might be having, not your family or any family might be having hypertension, diabetes. So what are the medications they're taking? So it's all about again PIC, purpose, interest, and curiosity. In my family, I have my parents who are suffering from like diabetes, hypertension, ITP. So I go through them. I go through the case histories. Like I know what treatments they're undergoing. I know what kind of drugs, their side effects. It's because they're my family members. I want to take care of them. That's the purpose. And with that, you have some interest and you're worried, you're concerned, and you have that curiosity. So various aspects to it. So depending on which is convenient for you to practically apply, you can do the same. But as I said, the text-based information, there are some inherent limitations. So we need to shift from these text-based information towards practical exposure. And by asking ourselves some relevant questions, I'm sure you'll remember anything it is. So, hi, Sairaj. Yes, sir. Tell us positive like you. What should I tell, Sairaj? What do you want me to tell? Hi, Sujay. A very good morning. Palak, how to increase that working hours? First of all, it's a general question, Palak. So, which working hours are you talking about? Are you talking about study hours? Are you talking about your working hours? I didn't get your question. Ruman Momin, I didn't understand about your stamina, Momin. So, you're talking about physical health or emotional health? Sujay, how to increase study hours? Sujay, there are certain things which others need not answer. For example, how to encourage study hours? I mean, let me ask you these questions. I'm sure you'll find answers, and you have answers. First of all, why do you want to prepare? And then, secondly, what's your objective? How would you like to see yourself in the next 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years? And during preparation phase, what is your objective? What are you trying to do during your preparation phase? So keep answering these questions, and I'm sure these answers will automatically allow you to increase or allot more hours towards preparation. How to increase working hours? It's something, the solution lies within you. It is something which you should answer to that particular question. I mean, if My priority is the work which I am doing. Someone else need not tell me to do this particular thing because this is my priority. I'll keep working towards it. If preparation is my priority, if teaching is my priority, if doing a particular task is my priority, do I need someone to come and tell me like I should work these x number of hours, or do you think I'll do it by myself? So, no offense, but ask yourself that question like, how should I increase my study hours? Depending upon your time availability, depending upon your convenience, depending upon various other factors, I'm sure you'll get an answer. Someone need not come and tell me like I should study or I should, take classes for these many hours. That doesn't work. Even if I tell it doesn't work, because it might work 1 day or 2 days, but later on, ultimately, we follow based on our convenience. So, what's your convenience, right? I hope you got my point. No offense taken. Yeah, Shyam Gupta. Hi, Shyam Yukta. I'm really sorry. It's really difficult to pronounce. Shamaita. I'm really sorry. Meghala. Okay, let me call you Meghala. Meghala, how to design a good timetable so that we're not bored with continuously concentrating a single subject? I'm glad you asked me this question, Meghala. See, you can check out our timetables available in general section of e-classes. In fact, based on your specific question, I've created a timetable for all the aspirants. It can be interns, homemakers, anyone. You can check that in general section of e-classes when I guest login, or you can get back through mail. And let me summarize that. So since you asked like how to create a good timetable, see, it has to be customized first and foremost. And secondly, make sure you're allotting or incorporating several aspects of your preparation, like studying theory for some time, watching videos for some time, we're talking about my classes, or giving a daily test or a surprise test, attending a discussion, attending a live session, discussing with your friends, making notes, making illustrations, sticky notes. So we have different aspects in preparation. And if you can incorporate all those aspects on day-to-day basis by allotting 1 hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, depending upon your availability. If you want to model, you can check out our e-classes, you'll get that for free. Right? I hope you got my point. So when you diversify your timetable and when you incorporate so many aspects which are relevant, see, no matter what you do, you are preparing, right? So, irrespective of these numerous ways, you'll land up continuing your preparation in a joyful way, and most importantly, as you said, you'll not feel bored. You'll keep yourself engaged. Right, Meghala? I hope you got my point. Sohini, you're most welcome, Sohini. I appreciate your love and affection. Yes, Sujay, you're most welcome. And once again, Meghala, I'm really sorry I couldn't pronounce your name. I'm really sorry for that. So, Meghala is a very good name. So, Mega means cloud. Am I right? Yeah, you're welcome. Sakshi, sir, I'm finally a student and also wanted to prepare NEET, how to study for both efficiently. Sakshi, the best thing about NEET preparation is, it's not a separate entity. You said you're preparing for final year, you're in final year, you can do it simultaneously by focusing on your final year subjects, following standard references. And also, we have some courses for final year students in the form of foundation course. You can check them out. You can get back through mail, you'll get all the details. So by focusing on your final year subjects, you're trying to achieve two objectives. One is you'll be able to clear your university theory and practical exams. And secondly, this quality preparation by referring standard literature and this practical approach will also tremendously help you in your NEET preparation simultaneously, right? And if you want more specifics, of course, you can get back through mail for further guidance. I mean, anything else, you're more than welcome to ask. I mean, the more the questions you ask, the more content I can deliver in the form of answers. Okay, so it's up to you. I mean, if you have no questions, let me ask you this question. So those are preparing. It can be a third year, final year, it can be internship. Why are you preparing? Just one question. Why are you studying? Only one question. Why are you preparing or why are you studying? So what's making you study? So what's your objective? So do answer this question. I'm really glad that you guys are out of questions. You know, it makes me feel empowered. If you don't have questions, I'm either relieved that you have full clarity on everything, or I'm relieved that you have nothing to trouble me further. Sairaj sir, how did you became so contentful? No, I'm not. I'm not contentful. I'm still in the process of filling my content, Sairaj. No, I'm not content. But no matter what I do, I try to achieve that sense of satisfaction. But fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not stopping there, because as humans, we always long for more. I mean, if you are sitting in this room, you want a bigger room, as I say. And if you are in a bigger room and you still need a bigger room, and you keep going, there is no full stop to it. So I'm not contentful, practically and frankly speaking. I'm still in the process of filling my contents on day-to-day basis through teaching, through interactions, through live sessions, whatnot. Yes, Sakshi, you're most welcome. Sujay, in order to get success in life, so Sujay, you want to prepare because you want to get success in life. That's good. So when you want to get success in life, so how many hours do you think you should allot on day-to-day basis? Maximum number of hours possible or minimum number of hours possible? I'm sure it's maximum number of hours. So if it is maximum number of hours, so how many hours? So the answer lies with you. So depending upon your other factors, minimizing other factors, and by orienting yourself, you can obviously utilize maximum number of hours in a particular day towards your, tasks or objectives. So often I get this question like, how many hours should we study? How many hours should we allot, or how to increase study time? Just ask yourself this question. Do you think you can give your best when you allot maximum time or minimum time? Do you think you can achieve all that you want by allotting maximum time or minimum time? Obviously, it is maximum time possible with best efforts possible. So the answer to your question is the maximum amount of time you can allot on day-to-day basis. It can be 1 hour, it can be 5 hours, it can be 10 hours, 12 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, depending upon your time availability. The reason why I've been giving you a varied number is because no matter how many hours you're allotting, if you take care of quality simultaneously through concentration, through these aspects which we have been discussing, that takes care of everything. That takes care of literally everything. So quantity plus quality, as you guys mentioned previously also. Good, Sujay. I'm glad you answered the question. So 6 to 7 hours, according to you, based on your time availability. That's really good. So it can be 3 to 4 hours. As I said, it can be 10 to 12 hours. Again, it has to be based on your convenience. Because if I give you a number, maybe you'll try to follow for a few days or maybe a few weeks, but later on, again, we fall into our convenience mode, right? That usually happens. So do it as per your convenience and simultaneously keep asking your questions. These kind of questions you'll definitely improve. Naveen, hi Naveen. To gain knowledge, and in the process obviously exams comes and goes. Yeah, exam is only to test you for your knowledge, but as I said, to gain knowledge, because this knowledge is going to help you, in your professional life, personally, professionally. And when your professional life is good, obviously it takes care of your personal life to some extent. I know there are several other factors which decide the fate of your personal life. Yeah, well said. So as I said, like, to gain knowledge, as Sohini says, to gain knowledge and success in life. That's true. So let me ask you another question. Since you are saying you want to gain success in life, so do you think success is somewhere at the top of the summit? I mean, for each of our recorded videos, if you see, I post a picture of the mountain. That's I've taken that picture in Europe, Switzerland. So that's the highest peak in Europe. So when you say success in life, when you say you want to achieve success in life, are you talking about the peak of that mountain which I show you, or are you talking about the journey? So again, that's something which we should all ask ourselves. So success, does it mean some endpoint, the summit, or does it mean the journey itself? Ranjit, sir, can you share timetable for revision for NEET? Of course, yes, Ranjit. You can drop a mail. You'll get all the details, including timetable, schedule, etc. Preeti says journey itself is success. I mean, if you practically observe, if you think, your success lies somewhere at a particular point, nothing can be further from truth. I mean, you are under some misconception, assuming that success is elsewhere. Let me ask you this. I mean, if you reach a particular point, let's suppose you want to crack entrance, you cracked entrance, and you think you're successful. Okay, you are successful. So, do you think your perception and your longing for success stops with your entrance, or do you think you still want success? Achieve more and success, and achieve success accordingly. So, is there some end point, or is there some longing for success as you move on? So that's self-explanatory, right? So your success thirst doesn't stop with cracking entrance. So if you carefully observe, it's not just about reaching the summit. In fact, the summit visualization of that summit will give you a sense of excitement. Reaching there, the thought of reaching there, the thought of achieving something will give you a sense of excitement and enthusiasm. That's good. You can use that energy in order to focus on the task at hand and enjoy each and every aspect of your life. And in my opinion, that's success. And when you're enjoying each and every aspect of what you're doing on day-to-day basis, that ultimately will take you to the summit. You don't have any other option. If you're positive, you'll go to the summit. If you're negative, you'll go to the base of the camp, right? Base camp, as I say. So all these live sessions, all these interactions, these are aimed to make sure that we're having these positive perceptions and perspectives, so that we are moving in right direction. So that's all about guidance, isn't it? Yeah, Ipsita. I think I've come across your quote as a dialogue in one of the movies very recently. Yeah, success is journey, not some destination. I mean, if you really believe in that, life itself becomes a joyous experience. Each and every activity becomes a joyous experience. I'll share something related to this. Today I woke up at 5 o'clock, exactly at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then I prepared for this live session. And then after that, I cleaned utensils, and then I cleaned the balcony and the rest of the areas. I cleaned my car, and then I took Toffee and Tiger for a ride for 10 minutes, and then I came back. I again cleaned the interior of house, and then I realized, see, when you ask someone to do clean that, clean this, do that, do this, it's not a good feeling. You feel coerced. You feel like you're forced to do certain things. But when you do it for yourself, and when you consciously do each and every activity, you'll enjoy that experience. Then in my opinion, that's a success. I mean, I'm having a successful day. There's nothing wrong in saying it. Just because I reach something or I achieve something at the end of the day doesn't mean that I achieve success only at that particular point. If we are really, frankly speaking, if we're enjoying each and every moment, I'm right now enjoying this live session. I enjoyed washing utensils. I enjoyed washing, cleaning car, or cleaning house. If you're really enjoying each and every activity, in fact, I even folded clothes today. So each and every activity, if you're doing it consciously, with mindfulness, with concentration, that becomes a joyous experience. And when you experience it, that itself is success, because that will ultimately lead to bouts of productivity, and that will keep you going, and ultimately you'll reach where you want to reach. So with positive ideas, positive perceptions, and with enthusiasm, and with the focus on giving your best, you'll be moving towards the summit of the mountain, and then you'll be enjoying each and every step accordingly, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. Sairaj, Maharshi movie dialogue. So if I ask you a question like, why is odontogenic keratocyst recategorized as tumor by WHO and again reclassified as cyst very recently in 2017 classification, what would you answer, Sairaj? It's difficult, right? But when we're talking about the dialogue, you could remember the fact that it's from a particular movie. It's because you know you enjoyed the movie, you had that interest, you had that curiosity, right? So keep these factors in mind. This is not just for Sairaj, for everyone. I'm trying to tell you, including myself in the process. So when we have that purpose in the sense not broad or vague purposes, but specific, focused purposes, and then having that interest and curiosity will generate a greater concentration of power, no matter which activity you're doing. Exactly. So it's from Maharshi movie. So success is not some destination. It's in fact a journey. Exactly, Preeti. Exactly. So Preeti, in fact, our previous student, she cracked entrance and she scored third rank, state third rank in Chhattisgarh, and then she is in her final year MDS now. So Preeti, did you achieve success and you don't want to achieve success anymore? So to everyone watching this live session, we have Preeti as an example along with us. Preeti has cracked her entrance. She got a very good rank, and still, I'm sure Preeti is craving for more and more success. So, success is never some arbitrary stop point. So, it's in journey itself, as you guys rightly said. Ranjit, so do you have any preparation group like in Telegram or WhatsApp? Yes, Ranjit, we have a study club group in Telegram. We have e-classes, test series, and assignments. You can drop a mail, you'll get all the details. Yes, Preeti, I know. I know you're a third year MBA student, and I'm sure you'll be completing it this year, right? Okay. So it's almost 1 hour, so almost 58 minutes. So before I conclude, I just have this to say. We all know why we should concentrate. So concentration is our ability to focus or to stay centered so that we can give our best towards a particular task and we can receive the best. Like we can imbibe more quantity and quality towards a task which we are performing on day to day or weekly or monthly or yearly basis. And this with concentration, with concentration, you can do exceptional work. It can be anything. Exceptional work can be produced only through your ability to concentrate. And when I say concentration, I'm talking about your conscious mind, not the subconscious mind, right? So subconscious mind, as you know, can perform multitude of activities. So consciously, if you can focus on one task at a time, that's concentration. With concentration, you can produce exceptional work. And four practical tips, as you guys summarize: taking control over self, implanting positive ideas into your subconscious mind. Multitasking is a myth. Rather, resort to one activity at a time. So right now, I can see Toffee snoring. So the only focus is sleeping. So no multitasking, just sleep consciously at least. And as I said, multitasking will only lead to you being less productive. It's counterproductive and it decreases or affects your creativity and it takes out joy in that experience. Try eating biryani, watching some TV or watching a favorite show. You neither can enjoy the show nor the biryani, but try focusing only on one task at a time. You'll see the difference. And what do you want? Know what you want. The third tip, know what you want. Use this mnemonic PIC, pick. So you want a pick, so you should get a pick. So P for purpose, I for interest, and C for curiosity. So just keep Bahubali movie in mind. You know the purpose. Why do you watch a movie? For fun, for entertainment. And you have interest, of course, you have plenty of interest, the grandeur, the taking, the hype which was created. And are you curious why Bahubali was killed by Katappa? Of course you are. So these things actually drive your concentration. And finally, eliminating worry. Are we worrying just because we care, or are we worrying just because we learn to worry? That's something we should ask ourselves. And you can replace your worry by action, through planned actions, through implementing actions. And then, even if you come across anything that's negative, accepting the fact that yes, there can be negatives in life, but we have the possibility to overcome those negativities, right? So, eliminating worry factor will enable you to enhance your concentration power. And finally, before I conclude, you have or you incorporate attention. You have attention towards a task and you'll automatically have retention. So attention is proportional, or both are proportional, you can say. And one interesting thing which we discussed about this entire process of concentration and all is, uh, in order to enhance concentration, I said we need curiosity and interest. But most often we complain that it's boring to study or to go through certain things. It means they are not actually boring, but it's because of our flawed or skewed perspective. If you keep asking the right questions, you'll definitely can create interest through numerous techniques: asking questions, visualization, making notes, discussing things, and then creating illustrations. Through different means you can create interest and kill the boredom, right? And as I said, there are no uninterested things. In fact, a great man once said, "There are no uninteresting things in this world. There are only uninterested people." Right? So really appreciate all of you joining live this Sunday. So wish you all a great week, and just don't hope for a great week to happen. Rather, let's work towards making it happen. Right? So wish you all the best. Love you all. And for any further queries or assistance, you're more than welcome to get back through mail 24/7. Okay? Toffee? So Toffee is still snoring. So let's not disturb her. Yeah. Okay, guys. Take care. Hi, Toffee. Say hi. Hi. Yeah. Moment, you can get back through mail. Okay? Yeah. Bye. Happy Sunday. Take care.